Okay, we've already started. If you notice, on the rock shaft, the small hole goes to the front. That's for your actuator. The bolt here is going to be a 5/8 by 3.5. On the outside, we have put an outer washer on each side and then 2 inner washers on each side for the spacing to be correct. And then that gets tightened down. You'll want to check it, make sure that you can move it a little bit. And then it gets followed up by the next step. We're going to install 1/2-inch carriage bolts, and they are 2.5 inches long, and they're going to have a washer and a 1/2-inch stover nut on them. Okay, next we're going to install a 1/2-inch by 2.5 standard bolt. We're going to have a washer on the inside and a washer on the outside. Make sure that this hook is facing to the back, and the open part of the bracket is facing downward. Okay, now we're going to put a carriage head bolt 1/2 by 3.25 is going to go through at the back. We're going to do the same thing for the washer on this side. Put a 1/2-inch stover nut on. And then we're going to get our 5.5 carriage bolt, a washer, and a stover nut. That's going to go right through the bottom. Okay, next you're going to install the hitch, and all you do is put in a bent pin and a linch pin, and then you're going to put an extra one in the end for the customer to hook it to their tow vehicle. Okay. When you get this to put it together, this is, you notice this has a little groove in the front of it, and if you look up in here, there's a groove. So you got to match up the grooves. And now you might have to turn it slightly, but you'll feel it when it gets in. But these are really hard to push in, and you've got to push them in hard to make sure you got to make sure that this plastic piece here is up above the rubber, and then click it in to get a tight hold. Otherwise, if you put it between the two seals, it's not in far enough to get a connection. And then when we ship them out, we're just going to ship them with a little inline fuse and the alligator clips plugged in, and then they'll also ship with an extension, and you'll get a box that'll have 2 key fobs, an extension, it'll have the quick ties, and it'll have the ABI piece to hook to one of the key fobs. Now that, you'll find this piece. Okay, you want to slide this piece in so that the bend goes away from it. So we'll slide this in, because this will end up, you'll set the battery plate on, and then this piece will set on top of it, and you'll attach it using a 3-inch carriage head bolt, 1/2-inch, I should say. Oops, yeah. And then you'll attach it using a 1/2-inch washer and a 1/2-inch stover nut. Okay, you can stop. Bottom hole, we're going to have 1/4 inch by 1.5 inches with a washer. We're going to insert that. We can get it lined up. Okay, now the top is a little trickier. We've got it hooked to the battery. So we're going to run it up until we get it lined up. And this you can just turn to line up. Once you get it lined up, then what you're going to do, you're going to start to insert the bolt. You're going to put 2 washers on one side. And I need to go up here more. Your other up. And then once you get your nut or your bolt started through there, okay, so we got 2 washers on one side. We're going to put the other nut, our washer, then we're going to put the nut on. and then just tighten them both down. Okay, 1/2 inch by 1.5 inch flat washer. Insert it up from the bottom. Put your buddy on there, and then you go with a 1/2 inch washer and a 1/2 inch nut, and then repeat the same process on the other side. Side, you're going to put the one in. You can put them both in from the outside when you have this plate, but truthfully, it's going to be easier to run the nuts in from the nuts on from the outside. So I would just put them on here. Oh, that one's a circle. It's got to go this way. So run our plate on. Go with our 1/2 inch washer and our 1/2 inch stover on front and back. Well, I think for shipping, you're going to want it down to hold it in place.
Yeah.
Okay, so for shipping, we're going to put it in the top hole. We're going to put our 1/2 inch bent pin in with our 1/4 inch link pin on both sides. And then all we got to do is tighten the lower bolts, and that's it.
The problem with that, though, now your loose pin's going to be in the way to tighten that up.